Hi, I'm Mindy Peters, the Solutions Manager at SPI, and in this video I am going to show you how to use Zapier to deliver a post-purchase bonus. This video is the second in a series on everything that happens behind the scenes when someone makes a purchase from one of our Teachable courses. In the last video, we talked about Teachable thank you pages. In this video, we'll talk about delivering bonuses. You'll find the link to the whole series below. Now, I'm going to break this video into two parts. In the first part, I am going to talk about bonuses sort of in general. Why are we using bonuses, and then why have I chosen Zapier to deliver that bonus? In the second half of this video, then I will show you Zapier. I will walk you through exactly how it's set up. So if you're looking for the technical part of this video, you can use the timeline below to jump to that part. But first, I really want to explain why we've set things up the way that we have, so that you can decide if this method is right for your business. Okay, so let's dive into that first bit about bonuses. I'm going to talk about why we use bonuses at SPI Media, what the different delivery mechanisms can be, and why specifically I've chosen Zapier to deliver these bonuses. So let's talk about why we use bonuses. We use bonuses at SPI Media as part of our sales strategy. So you can see here a list of some of the courses that we have available for sale. And most of our courses are always available for sale, meaning whenever you want to sign up, you can. And there's a lot of discussion within online businesses and specifically even within SPI Media about, do you make your product always available? The benefit of making your product always available, and this is my personal preference, this is why I like courses to be always available, is because then when your audience member is ready to sign up, when they are ready to sit down and do the work, they can get started right away. And that's a really great benefit to your audience. However, if your course or your product is always available, there's no incentive to your student to sign up right now. It can allow them to sort of push off that work until a later time. I'm going to do it next month. Oh, I'll sign up in 6 months. And so sometimes people need a little push to get started. And so at SPI, we periodically run sales for our courses where maybe we'll offer a discount on the purchase, and we'll throw in some extra bonuses to help you make that decision, sign up, and get started. We've talked a lot about selling strategies with bonuses over on the Smart Passive Income website, and I'll put a link to SPI podcast episode 448 down below, which is a podcast interview all about using bonuses and scarcity to promote your sales. So once you've decided to include a bonus with your sale, you've got to figure out how to deliver that. Now, in these videos, I'm specifically talking about Teachable course sales. And so with a Teachable course sale, we've got a few different options for how we could deliver a bonus, and it depends on what the bonus is. So if the bonus is another course, and in my case it is another course, or it's a workshop, so it's a smaller version of a course, you could set up a bundle inside of Teachable. Sometimes at SPI we do use bundles as a way of selling several courses at the same time. We don't use them very often, and I'll explain why in just a minute, but here's an example of a bundle in Teachable. So here's the main curriculum for the course, and you can see I've only got 2 lessons here, but then if I drop down to bundle contents, you can see 3 courses, so I have 2 courses and a workshop, are automatically included. So when somebody buys this product, they are getting access to all 3 of these products at the same time. And that can be a really great way in Teachable, using bundles, to give bonuses with purchase. So you make a main course and then you add in other bonuses. Now, we don't use this method very often for a very specific reason. Let me show you our listing of courses inside of Teachable. We have a lot of courses. We have 24 listed here right now. And when you make a bundle inside of Teachable, that becomes another course. Now, it may not actually be a course. The example that I showed you, really, it's just a couple of lessons, and then it is containing existing courses. So every time you want to make a change to your bundle, you have to make a new listing inside of Teachable, and that can create product creep, where you're just getting more and more added on. And so we only use bundles very, very rarely. But so at SPI, instead of creating bundles to deliver all those course extras, we've decided to use Zapier. The reason we're using Zapier to deliver our course bonuses is because it lets me make changes all the time. So let's say we offer 3 sales a year on a particular course. It makes it really easy for me to offer different bonuses for each of those 3 sales. The marketing team will make their decisions about, okay, for this sale, we want to include these 2 workshops. And they can come and let me know, and I can very easily set up a Zap. And then for the second sale of the year, if they say, we don't really want to use one of those workshops again, I want to switch it with another one, it's really easy for me to just create a new Zap or to edit an old one. And so it's just a lot more flexible, and ultimately that is why we have decided to use Zapier. As well as Zapier is really great for when you want to offer a fast action bonus. A fast action bonus is a bonus that's maybe only available for the first 24 hours of the sale. It's encouraging people as soon as they hear about the sale to take action. If they take action fast, they get an extra bonus. And that again is a selling strategy that we've experimented with on and off at SPI Media. And so I can use Zapier to check to see, did that sale come in the fast action window? If yes, deliver the bonus. If no, don't deliver the bonus. So just to recap on this discussion of bonuses, we use bonuses because they help encourage a customer to take action in a specific window of time. I am using Zapier to deliver them because for me, with my Teachable setup, it's just more flexible because I already have a cluttered Teachable setup. And Zapier allows me to be really flexible about making changes to my bonus stack. So now let's get into the technical setup for Zapier. So Zapier does have a free account and it lets you do a lot of things, but it doesn't give you access to multi-step Zaps. And the Zaps that I am about to show you are multi-step. If you had only a single product with a single pricing plan, then you wouldn't need a multi-step Zap. But chances are you probably have either more than one product or more than one pricing plan inside of Teachable. So let me show you how this is set up. So here we are in Zapier, and I'll be walking you through a couple of examples of the Zaps that we're using to deliver bonuses. First, I will show you just a regular bonus. If someone purchases this course with this pricing plan, they get enrolled in this workshop. Then I'll show you a fast action bonus where it's if somebody purchases this course from this pricing plan before this date, then they get enrolled in the bonus workshop. So first, we're focusing on the simpler of the 2 options. This is a bonus that gets delivered if someone purchases the 1-2-3 affiliate marketing course from one of 2 pricing plans. They're my promotional pricing plans. You can see that this is a multi-step Zap, so a simple Zap would have a trigger and an action, but here I have a trigger and 3 actions that follow. Let's start with the trigger. The trigger is the thing that kicks off the Zap, that tells Zapier to get started. And in this case, the app is Teachable, and the trigger event is a new sale. And if we click on our list of available trigger events, you can see that Teachable makes a bunch of different things available as triggers. And the thing that I want to focus on here is just quickly explaining the difference between new sale and new transaction. I use both a lot for Teachable-based Zaps, but it depends on the circumstance whether new sale is appropriate or new transaction is appropriate. Here's the difference. So let's think about a course. So I'm thinking about 1-2-3 affiliate marketing, and one of the things that I have for that course is a 3 installment plan. Someone could choose to pay for the course across 3 separate payments. The new sale occurs with that first payment. It's the first time someone is making a payment for the course, they're being enrolled in the course. A transaction occurs with each one of those payments. And so when I'm choosing which to use, I will ask myself sort of, what do I care about? Do I care about every payment, or do I only care about the first payment? And in this case, I only care about the first payment. I only care about sort of when they're enrolled in the course. So in this case, I care about a new sale. So I've chosen new sale. In the next step, you will connect your Teachable account. If you've never connected your Teachable account to your Zapier account here, the system will walk you through that process. If you have multiple Teachable accounts connected, you will choose which one from the drop down. You can see I have an old connection that I stopped using, and now I've got a new one here. Finally, when you set up a new trigger, you must run a test. And that test gives you access to all of the fields that you will need in subsequent steps. If this is a brand new course that you've set up and you haven't run any transactions yet, you'll need to go through and process a test transaction. You can either use a coupon code for 100% off, or I usually use a coupon code that takes all but $1 off, so I pay for the course for $1, and that lets me test my sale. So now that we have our trigger set up, this Zap is getting triggered whenever there's a new sale for any of my courses in Teachable, and that's not what I want. I only want it for 1, 2, 3 affiliate marketing, and only for a couple of the pricing plans. So we need to filter down the Zap. And so to do that, we use the action, we'll use the app called Filter by Zapier. Now what the Filter by Zapier action lets you do is say, only keep going if certain conditions are met. And so to set up one of these, the first thing you do is you find the data field from that test that you want to use. So let's click on this drop down and we'll click Show All Options. Now this lets you see all of the data fields that Teachable passed through to Zapier when that sale occurred. And you can see I've got a lot of different things, and I can keep scrolling. And I have access to a lot of data. Specifically, I want to filter for a couple of pricing plans, or as they're coming through here, they're called products. Let me show you what those are. This is my list of pricing plans for the 1, 2, 3 affiliate marketing course, and just focus on the top 3. Everything below that is just customer service pricing plans to help people who have made several payments and then maybe they missed a payment. It just helps them reactivate their enrollment. We're focused on these 3 plans. These are my 3 primary pricing plans. This is my retail price, this is my promotional price, and this is my installment plan, which is also only offered during promotional periods. I want to filter for these 2 pricing plans, and the way that I'm going to do that is through the plan name. I have given them different names. 1, 2, 3 affiliate marketing course enrollment is my retail. 1, 2, 3 affiliate marketing sale price enrollment. So you can see that those names are a little bit different, and then here, course installment plan, again, those are different. So we're going to filter for those 2 names. So I'm going to continue only if the product name contains, and then I've put the full name of the pricing plan. Now, I've got a bunch of options here, and I could have used exactly matches, but I'm a little bit superstitious, and anytime I use contains instead of exactly matches, just so that if there's like a trailing space in the name, it doesn't get accidentally excluded. So I have text contains, and then I have the name of my pricing plan. And I've set up 2, and you can see that it is or. So you have the option when you do these to ask it to meet both scenarios, which would be and, or either scenario, which would be or. And you can keep putting in options here if you need to, but I've got 2 pricing plans I need to meet, and this filter now is going to filter for that. You hit continue, and then Zapier runs a test. Based on that test data, it tells you if your Zap would continue. And in this case, my Zap would not continue. And that was because the test sale that got pulled in was for a different course. It was not for 1, 2, 3 affiliate marketing. It was for our free Build Your Own Brand course. So my Zap would not have continued. Cool. That's what I expected. And when I say my Zap would not have continued, I mean my test Zap would not have continued. Now let's move on to the next step. So now I've filtered down the people coming in and I have only the group of people I want. I have only people who have purchased 1, 2, 3 affiliate marketing with my 2 pricing plans. So now I need to give them the bonus. And in this case, I am going to enroll them in another Teachable course. But I could do anything else here. I could trigger an email to send in ConvertKit with the bonus. I could enroll them in a completely different course in a completely different platform. As long as I have that platform connected in Zapier, I could trigger any number of different things to happen. In this case, I just happen to be enrolling them in another course in Teachable. But the sky is the limit for you and what you want to do. My example here is just meant to inspire you to think about your process so that you can do things that are similar. They don't have to be the same. Okay, so my action, my app again is Teachable, and my action this time, you can see that the action list is different than the trigger list. And so my action will be to enroll the user into a course. Again, I've connected my Teachable account. And here we go. So I have the option to choose which course from the drop down. You can see I have access to all of my courses. And so then the next thing you need to do here, you can see there's 2 required fields. It's required that I choose which course, and then it's required that I enter an email address. And the way that I do that is if I click in this field, I have the option to insert data from a previous step. And so we're going to go back to that very first step, and I'm going to choose the user's email address from here. And when I click on that, it shows up in the box like this here. And so what Zapier is doing is saying it's going to pull the email address from that first step into this field. I could fill in the name if I wanted to. I'm going to leave that blank because Teachable already has that information. I am not going to enter a password because, again, they already have a Teachable account, so I'm just adding this course into their account. Anytime I'm using Zapier for Teachable, I tend to leave the password step blank. If someone doesn't already have a Teachable account, they will just get an email from Teachable telling them they need to set up their account. So once I've filled in those 2 fields, the course and the email address, I move on to the test. So you can see here that I did skip the testing step, which I don't typically recommend with Zapier, but I have built enough of these Zaps that I am confident it is going to work. And because my test data that was pulled in was for the wrong course, if I ran that test, it would be giving access to this workshop to somebody who shouldn't have it. And so I skipped the test. If I really wanted to be very diligent, this is what I would have done instead. I would have gone into Teachable right before I was building this Zap. I would have run a test purchase so that then when I was up in that first step and pulling in test data, I could keep pushing the get me new test data until I found my own purchase with my test account. And then that way I can safely run tests without impacting a live customer. There's one more step in this Zap, and that is just for me to pass this information on to ConvertKit, because ConvertKit is where I basically store all of my customer information, and I want to know that this customer has access to that workshop in case I ever want to send an email to everybody who has access to that workshop. And so I have chosen the app here, ConvertKit, and I'm going to add a tag to that subscriber. So in the action here, you can see I've got 2 required elements. It is required that I specify the tag and that I specify their email address. If you click in this drop down, you will have access to all of your ConvertKit tags, and they are in this list in the order that you've created them. So if you just created the tag, just scroll all the way to the bottom, or you can just search. Next, to add the email address, I'll click in here. And again, I'm going to go back to New Sale in Teachable, my original set of data. Click on that. And from here, I will choose the email address. And just for reference, if the field that you wanted didn't pop up in these top options, you can click Show All Options, and then that lets you scroll through all of the data that got served up with that initial trigger. Now you can pass along other information if you want to. You could pass along first name, the way you would do that. Again, click on this, and you could pull out the name. Unfortunately, Teachable delivers the name in a single block, and ConvertKit, I like to separate by first name and last name. And so in this case, I'm not going to pass the name along. Chances are, if this person bought a product from me, I probably already have their name and email address. So I don't want to overwrite that field. You can fill in any other custom fields that you have. I do have a custom field set up for this product. So it's the Cash Flow Fundamentals Workshop. So my field is Teachable_CFF. And in here, I'm just entering the value for a bonus enrollment, which is bonus. Once you're done, run the test. I skipped the test on this step as well. And then after you've run that final test, you can turn on your Zap. Zapier will prompt you to turn it on, or it's in the switch is in the upper right hand corner here. If Zapier won't let you turn the Zap on, look at each of your steps, and chances are you'll have an exclamation mark next to one of the steps rather than a check mark. That means that Zapier thinks that that step is incomplete, and it won't let you turn on your Zap until you complete that step. Just walk through the builder again and sort of sort out whatever piece of information Zapier thinks is missing, or specifically run the test or skip the test. So to recap what is happening in this Zap. First, our trigger is a new sale in Teachable. Anytime there is a new sale in Teachable, this Zap will start. Next, Zapier is going to look at the product name, and it's going to filter down and only keep going for the correct product names. Next, the action that runs is going to be to deliver the bonus. So in my case, it's enrolling the user in a Teachable course. And then finally, I'm passing my information on to ConvertKit. So that's what my bonus Zap looks like. Now let me show you what the fast action bonus Zaps look like. And it looks basically the same, except there's one more filter involved. So this Zap is another bonus enrollment. It is also enrolling my new customer into a workshop inside of Teachable, but only if they've purchased in a specific time frame. And so you can see if you compare the two Zaps side by side, I have an additional filter step here. So just very quickly, step one is the same. It triggers when there is a new sale in Teachable. Step 2 is the same. It is using filter by Zapier, and it is filtering for the exact same product names. So now on to step 3. This is also a filter by Zapier, and this filter now is focused on time. It's focused on the time that the course was purchased. But if you look at the data I'm using here, the data name, it is using webhook event created. That doesn't really sound like sale purchased, but it actually is. So let's go down and look at the data we have available to us. One trick you can use in Zapier for trying to find a time is to search for a colon. And you can see now my list shortened considerably. That's because times always have a colon in them, so do URLs. So you can see that when we filtered for colon, it's pulled up just the fields that have time or a URL, or we must have used a colon in Pat's author bio. And so here I've got a few different things here. So I've got a time here, webhook event created at, and let's see, I also have last user sign in time, and I've got author bio created at. Okay, so last user sign in, not useful to me. The time and date that the author bio was created, also not useful to me. But webhook event created. So the act of the data getting sent into Zapier is the webhook. And the webhook is going to happen at the moment that the sale happens. And so I can use webhook event created at as my sale time. And so that's why I've chosen that data field. And you can see here, this is how Teachable is formatting the date and time, and that is important for me to know because when I set up my filter, I need it to follow the exact same format. So we have our date with the year first, year, month, day, and then the letter T for time, and then the time in the format hour, minute, second, and then plus, and these zeros. And I'm going to be honest with you, not really sure what the plus bit is about. The thing that's important for me to know is that Teachable, the time that they're passing in is UTC, or actually they're following the Zulu time format. And so when I set up my filter, I want my bonus to stop delivering at a certain date and time. I need to know what that date and time is and then put it into the format that Teachable is using here, which is that Zulu time. It's not too hard. I'm going to show you the tool that I use. So I want to cut my sale off, and I usually add in a 10-minute grace period. You can see here it's cutting off at 21 hours and 10 minutes. So what time was that for me? The tool that I use is timeanddate.com's time zone converter, and this lets me turn my date and time from Pacific time into that Zulu format. Let's go back and grab that date and see what we were working with. So this was May 26th at 21:10. So here we are, Pacific time, May 26th, 2 p.m. converts to 2100 hours Zulu time. And I live in the Central Time Zone. Let's see what time that would have been here. 4 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. Pacific. So what's cool about this tool is you can just keep adding in other time zones and it'll tell you what time is it here based on whatever you have in the first option up top. I highly recommend always adding the date in when you're converting time, not just trying to convert from one time zone to another, because based on the time of year with the United States, you know, we've got all these different daylight savings things going on. You know, some parts of like Arizona and Indiana don't recognize daylight savings time, you know, and so you just want to be sure. You want to cut your sale off at the time you say you're going to. So anyway, this has helped me convert my time into Zulu. It's 2100 hours. So, and it's still on May 26th. So back to my filter here, I put in exactly the same format that Teachable was putting it in. I put in 2021-05-26, capital T, 2100 hours, and like I said, I gave it 10 extra minutes. And so now what Zapier is doing here is it's only going to continue if the date or time is before this cutoff. You can also choose after as an option, or you could even choose equals. And so I am only going to continue if the time of my sale was before this date and time. So that's the way that this bonus Zap is different, is it just includes that extra filter. If we look at step 4, it's exactly the same as step 3 from the previous example, except I'm delivering a different course. So my app is Teachable and my action event is enroll the user in a course. I've chosen the course to enroll them in, and I have added in their email address. And step 5 of this Zap is the same as step 4 from the previous. I am just updating them in ConvertKit, so my app is ConvertKit. My action event is to add a tag to the subscriber, and again, an optional step you do not need to use. I've also updated a custom field, so this is Teachable_TBW for Traffic Booster Workshop. I've just added in the word bonus. And that's it. That's my Zap. I currently have this Zap turned off because I'm not using it actively, but if I wanted to turn it on, I would just flip this switch. So that's how we use Zapier to deliver bonuses after a Teachable sale. Just a couple of little extra tips. For fast action bonuses, you know, when you're not using them, like I'm not using this one right now, it's from a sale back in May, I do turn it off just so that it's not running unnecessarily and counting toward my monthly task quota. And you can view your task quota if you just hover over the sidebar here. At the bottom, you'll see what your plan is, how many tasks you've used toward your quota, and how long it will be before that quota resets. So I'm on a pretty high plan. I get 50,000 tasks a month. I've only used half of them, and my monthly meter resets in 5 days. The spot where I'm more in danger of running over is I'm almost at my quota for the number of Zaps that I can have in my account. So that might be my trigger to go through and clean out any that I'm not using. If this looks useful to you, you can sign up for Zapier at zapier.com. That's not an affiliate link, that's just the direct link to the product. I am a big fan of Zapier. There are some alternative platforms. Integrately is one of them. I have not used the alternatives, but I have heard good things from members in our SPI Pro community. In the next video, I will take you into ConvertKit and show you the automation that runs inside of our email service provider when someone makes a course purchase. I'll take you through, show you all the data that we are updating as we go, and the email that ultimately gets sent after someone makes a purchase. If you'd like to sign up for Teachable using our affiliate link, go to smartpassiveincome.com/teach.